You give up your secrets. Sooner or later, they all do.
We got a double dose of Bond those last couple of weeks. We not only had GoldenEye for the Wii, we had Bloodstone, which is the HD companion to the GoldenEye. Of course, it's a third-person shooter, which I was surprised with. I didn't actually look at any trailers or anything before playing this game, and I assumed it was like Quantum of Solace, which had you first-person Call of Duty engine, and then when you went into cover, went kind of Rainbow Six Vegas, where you were in third person. Not the case, completely in third person. And to sum up the game, it is the good version of Conviction. In that, you're playing with an established character. The voice acting is great. I'm not a fan of Sam Fisher, by the way, in case you were wondering, with that last comment. It uses the same exact system. When you do a takedown, you get the focus aim, focus kill, whatever it was called. The mark and execute from Conviction, I guess it was called. But yeah, it kind of does that game correctly. The AI, while dumb, you feel like you're kicking ass, and when you're Bond, you want to be doing those things. Of course, it's made by Bizarre Creations, which you might know as the guys who made Geometry Wars and Project Gotham. Clearly, they have the pedigree to do a James Bond game. And they do bring the whole racing mechanic to this game. So you have levels where, you're on foot, you're beating guys up, shooting them in the head, you jump into a car, oh, now you're on a turret, you're doing all kinds of crazy crap. And that's what I like out of my James Bond games. If you ever played Everything or Nothing or anything like that on the last generation, it was really the James Bond experience where it's, it fit that James Bond, like Pierce Brosnan, wasn't all action. It was like, just doing this and that. Daniel Craig very much is. Just, no gadgets. He has a cell phone, kind of, using guns, cars, blowing stuff up, and that's what Bloodstone really is. Criminally short game, 5-6 hours, depending on what difficulty you play as. Is fun, though. This is one of the few games this generation that I've gone back after beating and been like, I want to play that particular level again. You don't really get that these days. And yeah, like I said, Daniel Craig's James Bond, Judi Dench is in there, all the voice acting and stuff like that is pretty great. The cutscenes are kind of subject. They don't look graphically up to snuff or anything like that. The sound design and stuff like that is great otherwise. I mean, the action scenes, the explosions, and all that kind of stuff, you feel like you're watching a James Bond movie. There's some really good set pieces in this game. If you're a James Bond fan, stop listening to this and go check it out. For all the rest of you who are kind of on the fence, stick around. There's, of course, the multiplayer that won't be played longer than 2 weeks after the game is released. So what you're really left with is the single player, and after you've kind of collected all the intel, maybe played through the game on a harder difficulty, what's left? And that's the problem with Bloodstone. It comes down to a rental, if that. That being said, again, if you are a James Bond fan, you're going to find so many things to like. For example, it kind of uses the Arkham Asylum thing where you have, the game looks pretty good, but then you're in your cell phone thing all the time that shows you all the points of interest, so all you're really doing is seeing the game in green. If you can kind of mix that with the action and stealth takedowns, you can play most of the game in stealth, which is really cool. You'll have a great time. I really enjoyed my time with Bloodstone and was not expecting to. The ending of the game, let's just say, if you're going to do a cliffhanger ending, make sure your game's over 5 hours so people don't feel robbed. You kind of get to a certain point. There is a twist at the end that, if you've been following the story of the game, is pretty surprising. M. Night Shyamalan, pay attention to this one. But at the end of it, you're kind of like, oh, there's another game coming, isn't there? And at that point, you're like, well, why didn't they just include that in this one? They have the engine. It's not like they're doing anything too crazy. Show me the conclusion. And while, I'm on the edge of my seat for this next James Bond game at 5 hours for this one, kind of hard to justify it. What do I give James Bond Bloodstone? Again, if you're a fan, 7 out of 10. Other than that, surprisingly average game. A lot less to do, but 7 out of 10 for me. James Bond, kicking ass. What can I say?
I want you out of there. Back in London for a full debriefing.
No, this isn't over.
Who can say